Hello there, my name is Clinton and I'm making this tutorial to help those out who want to get better at Photoshop. I've taken graphic design classes and advanced photography classes, and I've also just played around in Photoshop for years. So I have a pretty solid foundation of knowledge of Photoshop. Um, so for today, one of the most popular things to do with Photoshop is to head swap, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. So first off, for the head swap, if you want to have the best possible head swap and you're actually taking photos of whatever you're going to swap it with, you want to take several photos and at different angles so you have more options to work with. So right here I have several photos of myself which I'm going to head swap with somebody online. So right now I'm just going to do a Google search. Let's say I want to swap my head with like Barack Obama. I'm going to do a search and then I'm going to pull an image off the internet. So this one's pretty simple. It's just a straightforward shot of Barack Obama. Let's go ahead and save that. Here, let's get the full size image and then save it. Save it to downloads. Okay, so now I have my photo of Barack Obama. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, New, make a new project first, and it doesn't really matter, just give it a name. um, I wouldn't recommend putting in what I just put in, but just, name it correctly so you know what the file is. But for this, I'm just doing it real quick, so it won't really matter what I call it. Anyways, alright, so we go to Place Embedded, and then we go to where our file is. So mine's in the download folder. Alright, there it is. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to place it as a JPEG in my new project, and then I'm just going to click OK. So here's my photo of Barack Obama. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Place Embedded again, and then I'm going to go to a picture of me that would best fit this photo. Like, pretty much you want to match the head that you're going to swap with the head that you're going to swap it with, if that makes any sense. Pretty much the same orientation. Since he's looking straight forward, I want to find a photo of me that's just looking straight forward. So, pictures, not too bad. Ah, here we go. Alright, we're going to place it, and then we're just going to click OK. Sweet, so we have it on 2 layers. Now what we want to do is we want to scale my head to fit his head, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opacity of mine. Let's change it to like somewhere in the middle, like 50% or something. And then we're going to go to, or we're going to click Command T, and that is pretty much free transform. It's where you can scale your images. And so you want to click on one of the corners, right? And then you want to hold down Shift and then click on it so it retains its scale, right? Otherwise, if I don't hold down Shift, I can just make it do whatever. So that really, it's called a constrain. It constrains the image. So I want to try to match the head size closely to Barack Obama's. So that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to try to align it a little bit. So I'd say about there, right? I want to try to align the neck, really. That's what I'm trying to do. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and click check mark. That's what I want. And then we're going to turn the opacity back up. And then what's good here, or what you want to do is you want to just hide the layer below it so you can focus on this one. So what I'm going to do, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can use an eraser tool to erase around yourself, or you can use a lasso tool. to kind of trace around yourself. The only thing about using the lasso tool is that the edges can be pretty sharp and it won't look exactly right unless you're really precise. So what I prefer to do is just use an eraser with, here, click on it, and then just go ahead, click OK to rasterize it. Alright, so I want to choose an eraser, and I want to get it, I'd say fairly big at first, just to kind of like narrow it down, get it kind of close, and then go back in with the smaller tip, and then just kind of refine it out. But you want to turn the hardness all the way down to like 5 or somewhere around there, so um, it's kind of fuzzy, right? If it's more fuzzy, it's more passable. It's not so sharp. The edges aren't so sharp. So actually, you're gonna want to do that once you get. Sorry, I'm like messing up the order here. Once you get the big edges like taken care of, right? So go ahead and turn it back up. So just get around here, just kind of slowly work my way in. All right, now once we get to this point, now we want to turn our hardness down on our brush, so it's a little more soft and you can control it a little better. And then now what we want to do also is zoom in so we can get nice and close, make sure we get everything nicely taken care of in here. Go back to my eraser. And then I'm going to turn my eraser size down a little bit. And I think that's even now it's a little too hard, maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, it's a little better. Change the flow down also. There you go, nice and ghost-ish. Alright, and now we're just gonna work our way around. I'll time-lapse this so you won't have to look at all of it. Alright, so I pretty much got my head cut out of the original picture, and now I'm going to zoom out. And then I'm going to turn my layer back on that's underneath it, right? So from here, I'm going to click Command T again, just try to align it a little better. It actually looks like the head is a little too small still, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Okay. Now what you want to do, alright, let's Command T. There's a couple ways you can do it. I think the best way to do it for this one is to keep my neck in it so that it all matches. Otherwise I'd have to match the tone of his neck to the tone of my skin, and that's not, it's doable, but it's just like an unnecessary kind of step, I would say. So we have it here, right? Now we just want to try to kind of align it, right? I'd say that's almost it. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the opacity back down on my top layer. And I'm going to turn it on fairly low, right? So I can see the background layer pretty well. So with it, with the transparency down, I'm going to take my eraser tool again, and then where his collar is, I'm going to kind of erase out so that my neck fits firmly with the collar. Okay, now let's turn the opacity back up and see how it looks. Aha, we're getting there. So that doesn't look too bad. Could use a little more cleaning up, but you get the general concept of what I'm going for. Right, okay. So now that I have that, that looks pretty good. Now, There's a couple things. Obviously, his ears, Barack Obama's ears, he's got a wider head than I do, and his ears are also bigger, and they kind of go too far. So what you want to do now is let's go ahead and go. Let's select the layer that Barack Obama's on. Go ahead and click it to rasterize it. And now we're going to use the clone stamp, which is this tool right here. And make that a little bigger. So we're going to take the clone stamp, and what we want to do is we want to get the white in the background to kind of just like copy it over and cover up that ear. So what we want to do is we want to click on Option, hold down Option, and then just kind of select something that you can kind of pick from the background to evenly space it so it looks like it's just part of the image, right? And then we're just gonna go over his ear so you can't tell that it's there. Now this is a little more tricky. You just gotta find the right spot. We're gonna kind of choose right in between the red and the white so we can align it up, because it'll show up. See the red and the white in the toolbar? It shows up. So what you want to do is you want to kind of align it where the red and the white should meet, and then you want to click on it and then kind of just cover it up. Of course, we're going to pick up the ear a little bit again, but you kind of just gotta filter it out over time, like so. A shortcut to making the brush size smaller is by holding down Command and Option, and then by either clicking and moving the mouse left to right to change the diameter, and the hardness you can also change by going up and down. Okay, now pretty much the same thing for the ear. Just pick a spot in here and just kind of go over it. Alright, now let's zoom out and take a look at it. Alright, we're making progress. I'm starting to look like Barack Obama, or my head on Barack Obama. As you can see, if you get in real close, you see that there's still some coloring around the edges. It seems like I didn't clean up the edges good enough. So I'm going to go back in. See, it kind of stands out against the flag in the background. So we're going to go back in with the eraser tool and then just, oops, make sure you're on the right layer. Just kind of smooth that out so you don't see any more of that color, that green that's in the hair. And then on these small little corners, get your brush a little smaller. Okay, I think I still see a little bit of Barack Obama. Nope, that's not Barack Obama's ear, that's my own ear. Playing tricks on me. Okay. This isn't saying I want to be a Barack Obama, because I don't, but there it is. Not too shabby. From now, what we can do is we can crop it. Let's see. Can crop our image to the size we want it, since I made the canvas a little too big. And then we go ahead and click check. And there we go. Finished and done. There's also some other stuff you could do that's a little more advanced, like lighting and stuff to match the lighting of the original picture, but we'll get into that in another tutorial. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and I hope you learned something. So, have a good day.